I just wanted to very briefly mention that if you enjoyed this video and others that I've made, it is immensely appreciated if you like the video, you subscribe, and you share my content around. If you have the means to and would like to support the channel in another way, I have a Buy Me a Coffee page where you can support the work I do here for as little as $1 a month. Thank you, and let's begin. Despite the mythos that Russians don't miss the Soviet Union and are better off without it, more and more surveys are exposing a fondness and at times a call for the return to the Soviet system. According to a poll from the Levada Center asking the question of who are the most outstanding people of all time and peoples, it was reported that Joseph Stalin had been voted the most outstanding world figure in Russia, garnering 38% of people's responses. A later report from the Levada Center would address that the number of people who regret the fall of the Soviet system was at a 10-year high, whereas the highest recorded percentage so far was 75% of people missing the Soviet system in the year 2000. This somewhat recent polling of Russian citizens showed that 54% of citizens regretted the dissolution of the USSR. Another poll from 2020 shows that a majority of Russian citizens, at least out of those polled, believed that life was better before perestroika happened. The resurgence of popularity in figures such as Lenin and Stalin in Russia draws parallel to the rising popularity of left-wing thought emerging in the United States. A Harvard University study conducted in 2016 revealed that the percentage of young people aged 18 to 29 that rejected capitalism was in the majority. The response of the pollsters displays that 51% of people in the aforementioned age range hold a negative view of capitalism, whereas only 42% of people maintained a sense of support for capitalism. Wherein only 33% of people explicitly stated support for socialism, the rise in anti-capitalist thought with the subsequent surge in socialist ideals does provide a lens into the persistent Russophobia that plagues the United States to this day. Polls from within the last 2 years also display an affinity for socialism in the younger generations, or at the very least a more critical view of capitalism. This Russophobia, having been inflated in recent years due to ironic accusations of election meddling, stems from the persistent influence of Cold War propaganda, effectively leaving people trapped in the Red Scare and bathed in McCarthyism. The question of Russia's involvement with the United States 2016 election perpetuates the McCarthyist culture, with many claiming that anybody displaying any dissent against capitalism or the American status quo is a quote-unquote Russian troll or a Russian bot. This displays that the ideologies of the Cold War, even as anti-capitalism seems to be on the rise, continue to be a driving force in American society. The very recent events in Ukraine have been no help in countering these outlandish claims most commonly made by liberals, especially liberals on Twitter. The ignorance of, along with the denial of history, allows for the distorting of and the misrepresentation of culture, allowing for the perpetuation of falsehoods, the aggressiveness against a country and its people, and hegemonic control over public information makes discovering the truth and informing people of said truth an even more difficult task. The defense of history, the defense of culture, is the truth. Distorting the facts as a means of reinforcing the hegemonic status quo is harmful to all peoples, and more often only serves to perpetuate the cultural, political, and social domination of the capitalist system. My name is Jimmy. Thank you for watching.